Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. In this one we're going to have a talk about braking. So we're going to start at a really basic level and we'll work up to sort of, beginner intermediate braking. Now these sorts of skills are something that's really useful to practice. A lot of people don't really spend any time working on their braking, and the better you can do it and the better your control of your brakes, the more comfortable you're going to be on the trail, the better you're going to be able to control your speed in rough terrain, the more you can stop in cases of emergency and so forth. So we're going to start with some really basic stuff, and then we'll just advance through a couple of exercises. So this is stuff that you can easily try yourself. Doesn't need any particular difficult terrain. We're just here on a flat piece of fire road. Cool. So the first thing to think about is how you're going to apply your brakes. And the way we like to look at it is comparing your brakes to a dimmer switch rather than a light switch. So your brakes aren't just on and off. So what you're going to do is when you want to use your brake, you apply a constant gradual pressure onto the brake until you start to feel your wheel locking, and then you can just modulate it a little bit just so that it's not quite locking. Now, a good way to get the feel for this is to just have a bit of a walk with your bike. So I'm just going to play with my back brake, and for the first part of these exercises we're just going to be using our back brakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk along here, go around the other side of the bike, makes it a bit easier for you to see. I'm going to walk along here and I'm just going to apply the brake. So for me, we're Australian, my back brake's my left hand, others might be the other way around. So I'm going to gradually apply the brake, nice and smoothly, and you'll see you get to the point where the back wheel's skidding. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Now at this point, I'm just going to modulate my brake a little bit, so just letting it on and off gently, so you can see how it's just starting to turn. And you want to be on that boundary where you can just feel that control. So it's a pretty simple exercise, and you'll quickly realize that you don't need a lot of pressure, and what you're trying to achieve here is just get used to controlling that modulation. So the next step is to actually do this on the bike. So once again, we're going to do this with our back brake only, and the way we like to teach it is we've got an area set up here. There's a bit of a line there that I'm going to try and stop on. I'm not sure how well you can see the line, but it doesn't really matter that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll down to the line and I'm going to stop just using my back brake without skidding my wheel. So the idea is we're practicing that modulation. Okay, so give you a bit of a demo. Just roll down here. First run through, I'll do it quite slowly. Rolling down and gently applying the back brake so I can come to a stop without actually skidding the wheel. So the reason we're doing this with the back brake to start with is just to get a bit of a feel of how much pressure you're going to need and to work on that modulation control. Cool. So the next time through, we start speeding it up. And this is something you can do yourself a number of times. Just get the feel for how well you can control the brake. And the better your modulation is, the more control you're going to be able to have in difficult terrain. So if I come in a bit quicker this time, same effect. Okay, you notice my body position, I'm still staying in my forward ready position that we spoke about earlier. Now the quicker you go, the harder it's going to be, and you're going to start finding it's hard to stop without skidding. So what we're going to do for this next exercise, and you guys can jump out and have practice with these in between the video if you want. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to do a bit of a skid with the back brake, then I'm going to release the brake a little bit and stop without skidding. So the idea is we're just finding where too much brakes are, so it starts to skid, and it also means you get the feel for the fact that you can skid and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And then release a little bit just so that you've got the control back, and then stop without skidding. So give you a little bit of a demo of this. Obviously, given as how this is a video, you're able to rewind and watch these demos as many times as you feel you need to. So I'll go a little bit quicker, come in a little bit quicker, and you notice a bit of a skid, of course everybody loves skids, and then we've backed off the pressure a little bit and stopped without skidding. So what that's doing is that's just letting me really get a good feel for where that modulation point is. And we're starting doing that with the back brake. Now you'll notice as you start going quicker and quicker that you're going to find it really, really hard to actually stop without skidding just using the back brake. So the next step now is we're going to start bringing in the front brake. Now the reason we started with the back is because if you do over brake with the front, you do have the potential to have the front wheel slide out or potentially go over the handlebars. So the safety precautions with this is, you notice where we're practicing, it's nice and open, so that if I feel like I'm over braking, I can just let go of the brakes again and I'm not going to crash into a big wall or a car or anything significant. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to start using both brakes. So we're going to use both brakes reasonably evenly and see what difference that makes. So coming in a little bit more quickly this time, I'm going to apply both brakes reasonably evenly, and you should find that you can actually stop an awful lot quicker. Trying that. That's way, way easier to stop. Okay? So, what you need to do is have a little bit of a practice with that. The next stage up is just speed up that little bit more, come in a little bit quicker, get used to controlling it and have a play with that modulation until you're quite comfortable being able to control your speed and control the bike. Even if you're quite an advanced rider, it's a good idea to do this exercise sometimes to just really get great control over the brakes, and just makes you that bit more smoother on the trail. The better your modulation is, the better your brakes are set up, the more smoothly you can ride and the quicker and the safer you can ride. So give it a go guys, have a play with it. We're going to have another video coming up in the series that's going to be a little bit more advanced braking, but this is a really good start point. So thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you in the next video.